Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me, your host, Tommy Gilberts, as we sit down and take a behind-the-scenes look into Titan athletics with weekly interviews with coaches and athletes. This is Titan Table Talk. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Ames Library Podcast Studio for week 21 of Titan Table Talk here as we wrap up the month of February, championship season for winter sports, and opening week for spring sports. And our first guest in that vein is going to be head softball coach Tiffany Prager. Welcome, Coach Prager. How are we doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Very much really nice to be at the point where it is 60 degrees out right now, and we're talking baseball and softball. We'll have some basketball guests on later, and then next week we're going to be wrapping up the track and swimming championships as well. So exciting time here at Wesleyan, and after a week delay in getting your season started down at WashU with a couple of cancellations and a couple of postponements on Sunday, weather-related, nice to actually have some good weather to play in down in Kentucky this weekend.
Yeah, we were really glad to get an opportunity to get out on the field and actually compete against someone else other than our own team. But yeah, our team did a great job of kind of working through those adjustments with the schedule and being prepared to play.
First game at 10-2 Mercy Rule victory in 5 innings, a couple innings in the circle for Caroline Gatchel, and then 3 from Bailey Turner as well. Had a 4-2 lead in the fourth inning with 2 outs and a runner at second, and then that error that kept the inning alive kind of opened the floodgates, turned into a 6-run rally. What could have been a tight game turned into a Mercy Rule 10-2 laugher pretty quickly. Next 5 Titans reached after that error, and then you're good to go. So that was the other thing I noted was, looking at that game was the bottom of the order damage in particular. Alyssa Stenger, J.D. Dowling combined to go 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs. Nice to get that production for sure.
Yeah, we just talk about having productive at-bats, and I thought, for the most part, our lineup as a whole really did that, especially in the first game. But it was great to also see some newcomers really kind of make their mark right from the get-go and set the tone for us.
Any particular thoughts on what you saw on the offensive side in that first game from a couple hitters that you really haven't seen in game action yet?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that their willingness to have productive at-bats. We talk a lot about even just a ground ball to the right side and moving the runner and being able to do that, but then also being able to score the run. I thought that, that first inning, being able to score that first inning was crucial for us, to set the tone. Haley got on base, found a way to get to second base and third, and then Casey put a ball into the outfield for us to get that sac fly. And then, the next couple of innings, Alyssa Stenger gets a RBI base hit with 2 outs. Just anybody is capable of doing that, whether they're in the starting lineup or, coming off the bench and in that role and being able to put some damage on the ball.
Yeah, and then fast forwarding to game 2, Casey Wismiller again got started with an RBI single in the first, a couple of fifth-inning run-scoring hits from Ava Corey and Jen Kuhn, 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th inning, 2 outs and nobody on, and then a couple quick strikes from center, 2 runs in the 5th, and then single-double 3-run go-ahead homer right there in the 6th inning. Got 5 innings, 2 earned runs out of Mallory Holland, and the first time seeing her in the circle for the Titans. Obviously a tough way to finish that ball game, but any takeaways from that one?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of people step up, and we're still in that phase where we're learning our role and really understanding, too, that at any moment you can go in the game. And I thought that Mallory did a great job. I think that she only gave up 3 hits in the game and did a great job of keeping their offense at bay. And you got to give center credit. I thought they put good swings on good pitches, and they really made us play defense and took advantage of opportunities that were there. So giving them credit and understanding that, from our standpoint, our game plan from an offensive standpoint, it seemed to shift a little bit in that second game. And what can we do to stay consistent through 2 games when we're facing, the same team? And how can we continue to keep that focus on what we do well? I know that one of our team standards is basically continue to focus on what we do well and do the little things. And I felt like that kind of slipped from us a little bit in that second game. But I'm looking for the opportunity to bounce back from that. I think your first couple games, you learn a lot, and it's an opportunity for growth. And how can we continue to strive to be better in certain areas? You don't want to be peaking in February. Certainly would have been nice to pull out that second game. But how can we continue to get better as we move forward?
Yeah, and we go from playing the same team twice in the span of 4 hours last week into a very different setup, which is a little unusual in softball this coming weekend, but the trip down to Columbus, Georgia for the NFCA Leadoff Classic, Transylvania and Mary Hardin Baylor on Friday, Texas Lutheran, Christopher Newport on Saturday, and then closing out Sunday with Wartburg and Barry. A lot of programs, a lot of success over the last decade plus in softball there, and a pretty big test in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to the challenge. We talk about respecting everyone but fearing no one, and really just continuing to stay focused on what we do well. We are playing quality teams, and that's really kind of how our schedule is always composed every single year. And our hope is that not only can we be challenged and learn and grow, but also see the success that we could have. And I think that this team has a lot of potential. I'm really excited about the versatility of this team. I'm excited to see a number of players get opportunities to play, because I do believe that every single person on our roster is going to be big in terms of a contribution throughout the course of the season. And so looking for opportunities for people to get in the game, or looking for different roles for people to serve, and figuring out, what is this team going to look like, not only now, but as we move into the future. And so that's my job as the coach, to hopefully put people in positions to be successful. And sometimes you get it wrong, but you're doing the best you can with the information you have. And so we're just going to go out there and really put together, hopefully, some good games.
Yeah, and one of those challenges, of course, you always talk about when you're trying to put people in a position to be successful, and you're working with pitching staff this year that lost by far the two that covered the most innings last season of graduation, Nina Marjetko and Natalie Grubzak, and trying to piece it together in the early going where you're not wearing anybody out in the early part of the season, but trying to figure out what you've got and what matchups are going to play the best with what arms. What's the kind of the early season pitching plan going to be heading into this weekend in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so going into this weekend, we're playing 6 different teams in three days. And so our job as a staff, and we've already looked over film on all the teams, and so trying to find pieces where we can pitch by committee. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to try and use the information we have and put people in positions to be successful. And so really that pitching by committee is going to be key for us going into this upcoming weekend, and really throughout the course of the season. We feel like we have a staff that can definitely put together good games. We don't necessarily know right now what it's going to look like, inning to inning or pitch to pitch, but at the end of the day, each of them are great at something. So how can we use their strengths to our benefit? That's our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing how everything goes this weekend. You guys are taking off on Thursday morning. Yeah. Good luck with everything. We'll be excited to follow along from Bloomington. Yeah. Keep an eye on are there any live stream links this weekend?
I believe that there are live stream links that will be shared, and so hopefully that will be made available on our website. But we're looking forward to it, and I do have to give a shout out just to our staff, our coaching staff, the amount of work that they put in. Nikki Miller, Kimmy Hassel, and Bob Grimes. I can't say enough. We wouldn't be where we are without them.
Absolutely, and good luck with everything this weekend. iwsports.com, check it, and don't forget those are all Eastern time start times that are posted for the games down in Georgia this weekend. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back in a minute with baseball coach Dennis Martel.
Why is Illinois Wesleyan the #1 school in Illinois for jobs? Maybe it's because we're the AND University. That's right, A-N-D, AND. Here you can explore the arts and study in a pre-professional program, double major and play a sport, do an internship and study abroad. Your opportunities are endless. Tap or click now to explore Illinois Wesleyan and start your free application today.
And welcome back once again, this time joined by Illinois Wesleyan baseball head coach Dennis Martel. Feels like I just saw you a few minutes ago, and here we are again. Coach Martel and I just finished up about an hour and a half of pickleball this morning. And
that was a good time.
Yeah, it was. It was. And now we have to actually focus on our jobs here.
There you go.
But congrats on a good weekend. 2 out of 3 down in the St. Louis area at least. Dropped the opener 6-5 at Fontbonne on Friday. But still a nice rally toward the end of the game, down 5-1 in the 5th, came back to tie it with single runs in the 5th and the 7th, and a couple of unearned tallies in the 8th. Griffins came back and answered in the bottom of the 8th, and a couple singles, run-scoring pass ball, but 3 for 4 for Louis Perona from the leadoff spot in that one. A couple of RBIs for JUCO transfer Justin Godomsky in his first start as a Titan. A little bit of a rough outing for Jake Pullum, but otherwise, what did you see for the opening day game?
There's just a lot of good things. Pullum struggled, I think, starting the first game. May have been a mistake because he's a sophomore and he he felt, oh, I'm the number one, so I got to act like it. And I think he went out there and tried to do too much, and he really struggled overthrowing, trying to be too cute. So something that, it's easily correctable. Basically one pitch. Their kid, he hit a fastball. It was up and out, and the wind was blowing out to right field. He got it up in the wind stream, and that was a 3-run home run, and that hurt. But I liked what we did. Boy, after that we pitched really well. Everybody we threw out, basically all 3 games. I think what I say earlier, 28 strikeouts in 27 innings and only 4 walks. Our pitching staff is really, really good, and we still left 2-3 guys that didn't have a chance to pitch. So we're going to be really good on the mound. Defensively, we're really good, and then offensively, I was probably a little disappointed. I thought we would come out and hit the ball, have better at bats, and hit the ball harder. We've had basically 12 scrimmages outside before the first game, so when they say, oh, it's the first couple games, I say, no, we've been scrimmaging. The weather's been really good. So I really like what I saw over the weekend. It's exactly where I think we would be and how we would be. We get talent, we get depth. At the end of the year, we're going to be right in there to, win that conference championship. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, and we talk about trying to, a couple arms that you were hoping to get in this weekend and didn't quite get there. Well, it's going to happen when Dalen Banks just rolls through 8 innings, just about untouched on Saturday against UW Platteville in that 3-0 win. 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, a walk, maybe a little bit of trouble in the 3rd inning and 8th inning, but otherwise really stress-free outing from him.
Oh, he was on. He throws a changeup, and I don't care. We all love velocity, and I'm the number one guy with velocity. But if you can throw a changeup, you're going to win a lot of games. And he throws his changeup in any count, and hitters never get comfortable. He was in control the whole time, and we kept looking at his pitch count for the first time out in the season, and it'd get up, I think, to 95, and I was like, okay, we stretched it enough here. But yeah, that was a big one to get that. And then even yesterday, Cole Shamhart, another transfer. He went out and gave us, I think, 6 innings. Will Davidsmeyer in his first college appearance, a little rough, but he was 88, 89. And then Luke Schwab, JUCO transfer, man, he was outstanding. He was 85, 86 with a power slider, and they had no chance. And I looked at, Mike Keller, my assistant, and I said, wow, it's nice to have this type of arms with that kind of stuff late innings now. We're not going to be giving away games in the 7th, 8th inning anymore. So very, very positive, a lot of great things. And so I'm really excited to move on.
Yeah, and that's, when you look at the conference tournament last year when Costello had a great run, but you're trying to throw him out there game after game after game over a 4-day span to close things out. Just the number of different bullpen arms, the great stuff that you hope you can rely on to mix it up a little bit more on that back end and make sure you don't have to overwork guys just to win games. That's those combo of those 3 on Sunday against Central in that 4-3 win combined for 12 strikeouts and no walks too, and that's in first appearances for the year for all of them, and that's
very impressive stuff.
Yes, yep. Yes, it is. At the plate that game, you had 6 and 7 hitters. Tyler Woltman, ISU transfer, and Tristan Figgis combined to reach in 7 of their 8 plate appearances, 4 for 4, 3 steals, couple of RBIs for Figgis. The lineup has that depth to it. Really, it had it for a lot of the year last year as well, but the difference, of course, the balance that you're going to see in that staff and the number of arms you can feel confident running out there this year, I think.
It is. Our hitters are also another year older. We're all juniors and seniors. We had one freshman, J.P. Ferrara, who I think will end up working his way in either DH or first base. But, yeah, we just got some physicality, like I said last week, in our lineup. And they all got another year experience. Then you add in with the depth of the pitching staff, and Tyler Woltman makes a big difference defensively, framing, blocking. They had a guy, one of their fastest guys, he took off, and I thought, man, he stole that base easily, and Woltman just threw a rocket down there. Boom, boom, he's out. And, you get outs like that instead of being safe, and now they get a 16 hop ground ball, a little flare, and they pick up 2 extra runs a game if we don't throw the guy out. Where, last year I think we went the first 36 runners stole. We just couldn't throw anybody out. We weren't very good back there. Now we're solid, and the kids know it, and there's just a little bit different vibe with him back there. So yeah, he's a difference maker. Great addition. And our whole weekend, we really needed to upgrade some spots. We needed a shortstop. Godomsky is a transfer. Schwab at the end of the bullpen is a transfer. Tyler Wiltman. Cole Shamhart is another one. So we really plugged in some needed holes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking ahead to this weekend, doubleheader down at Wash U on Saturday, 12 o'clock first pitch for Game 1, and then 1 o'clock on Sunday. Weather looking decent? It looks nice.
Good, 60s this weekend, sunny. And they're good. They're, I think, 5-1 after this weekend. They get a couple really good arms. It's going to be a test. I would say at the end of the year, they're going to be a team that's going to have 30-plus wins, and they'll be ranked, in the top 20 in the country. And so, get down there. You take 2 out of 3. It's a great weekend. But this will be a good test for our guys to see kind of where we're at and what we need to work on. The one thing I felt over the weekend is that we didn't hit as good as I thought. And this will be a challenge this week because we're going to see some really good arms. So we'll have to get some work done this week to be ready for them. But, yeah, it's a good second weekend where you're playing a really good team, and I think we are too. Teams that, down the road, whoever takes 2 out of 3 is going to help them when they start looking at NCAA at large regional appearances. So big weekend already, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, certainly. So are we. Good luck with everything, and we'll talk to you sometime in the next couple weeks, and looking forward to seeing it. Once again, 12 o'clock Saturday for a doubleheader, 1 o'clock Sunday for a single game, Titans at Wash U. We'll be back shortly with head coach Maya Smith.
Berg drives one in the air to center field. This is down for a base hit. The Titans are going to win the ball game. Ethan Berg walks it off, and the Titans storm all the way back with 9 runs in their last 2 innings. They win it tonight, 13-12.
And not for the first time this year, we're very happy to welcome in Titan women's basketball head coach Maya Smith. It'll be a pretty quick one today, I think, Coach Smith, because we've got 2 games to talk about from last weekend, and we are filming this on Monday, so by the time you're watching it, you will know where and whom the Titans are playing this weekend. But right now, we have no idea. So sitting here a couple hours in advance of the NCAA selection show. First of all, congrats on a nice win on Thursday, CCW semifinal at the Shirk Center, 77-51 over Augustana. Pretty much salted away at the end of the first quarter. An outstanding 10 minutes, both offensively and defensively, in particular for the Titans, 31-12 at the end of the first.
Yeah, it was, I loved the way we started against Augustana. We came out with just fire in our feet and just really played a great team. In terms of sharing the ball, we were just really locked in terms of where everybody was. It was really fun.
Yeah, Sawyer White, 7 steals, 5 of which were in the first quarter. I mean, forcing 14 turnovers in 10 minutes is almost impossible. But Mallory Powers, Sarah Bali, 9.6 rebounds each for each of them. 36 of the Titans' 61 shots from long range on Thursday night. Yeah. Was that kind of the game plan going in, or just kind of happened that way?
We always talk about shooting in rhythm, and if they're in rhythm, they knock the first few of them down, then they've really got the green light. And I've never really put my thumb on them in terms of not taking a three-pointer, but if we're in rhythm, any shot is a good shot for us. So it was fun to watch them, though, and they were playing happy. That's how we perform at our best, so it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Fast forwarding to Carroll on Saturday, You watch any basketball this time of year, you'll let every analyst in the world talk about how difficult it is to beat a really good team 3 times in a season, and hammer that cliche all you want. Carroll came in ready to play, that's for sure, on Saturday night.
Carroll threw the first punch. There is no doubt about that, and hats off to them. They are a good team. They're ranked in both polls in the top 25, and just they performed very well, especially for the first 3 quarters. Not sure where we were. I still love this team. I still think we're the better team. I just think that on certain nights, I've had really respectable coaches tell me that you play them 10 times, you're going to beat them 9, and I kind of feel like that's the way it is. But Carroll did play well. They've got a great player in Olivia Rangel, and they've got a great supporting cast with Weisner and the rest of them that follow around behind her. But it was a good fourth quarter for basketball fans to watch. We rallied from being 20 points down to having a chance to cut it to 6 with a 3-pointer that went in and down and out. So, yeah, it was not the result we wanted, but we're certainly not disappointed in our season, disappointed in that game because we feel like we let our community down because it was a great turnout.
It was, and that's, with hosting the men's and women's at the Shirk Center all weekend, just so exciting to see all that. Obviously, a little bit of a tough day Saturday, but at the same time, putting yourself in a position to do there and be that, and how many times this year have we sat in the office and gone, oh, we're kind of disappointed with that game? A couple.
Yeah.
A couple.
That's true.
Maybe.
Very true.
In close to 30 games. So I think, and sometimes you just have those nights where the 3 balls aren't falling. Somebody else is playing well. Shooting 3 for 19 from long range after the first quarter is tough to come back with. And the other thing, we've talked so much, and even last week, about how I've been able to rest the legs of a lot of the starters. And suddenly that wasn't the case on Saturday night. 35 minutes, I believe, for Lauren and Kate and Ava, 30 minutes for Mallory, 25 minutes for Sawyer, another 20 minutes for Katie Knutson. I was having to play a little bit of a different style game. There is part of me that looks at that and goes, that might need to happen a little more this weekend, and get a feel for it on your home court, even in a result that you didn't want, is not necessarily a bad thing.
That's true. I think our conditioning level is perfect right now. I don't know that I've had a team that feels as energized as this group does in terms of their legs. We really watch things like that. I just think probably going into the Saturday game, we just did not practice well on Friday, and I think it got to us a little bit mentally, which we're able to fix. And I think the girls have probably already fixed it. They seem in good place right now. But definitely, we get to our bench. We're really 3 strong, and we go to Taylor Tarver. It gives us 4 strong. It's those quality minutes that bench puts in that I think really makes a difference. And Katie Knutson was playing hurt on Saturday, so we just couldn't quite get the peak performance out of her that we needed. But I did think Laura Malum and Sarah Bally stepped up off our bench.
Yeah, this has been the case for so much of the year. Well, we don't have a whole lot to preview for this weekend. You might think so when you're watching this, but not the case at this moment. But keep an eye out at iwsports.com for all the information about the NCAA tournament coming up this weekend. Good luck, Coach, and we'll see you at the selection show in a couple hours.
Perfect. Thanks, Tommy.